Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right to our show I have for you guys today. I hope you guys are enjoying your Wednesday morning. It is currently 10:11 a.m. We have some stuff to get to. First up, we're gonna have 4 segments today on our show today. It's just me, but we're gonna have a rocking show. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here on season 3, episode 7. Let's get right to it. First up, our first segment here on the Fire Sports Pod is that we're going to be going over the Lakers. And I know I've been going over the Lakers a lot lately, but man, they just had a play-in tournament for the ages last night against the Pelicans. We're going to get to that. We're also going to get to their first round matchup, which is against the defending champs, Denver Nuggets, who swept my Lakers last year in the Western Conference Finals. So we'll get to that. On top of that, our second segment, we're going to be going over the Warriors. Is it finally the end of an era, the end of the dynasty that has been here since 2015? It has been a while, and this team has 4 championships. Have one NBA Finals appearance over the last 5 seasons. Their last title was 2022. Last night was not the best for them. So is the end of the era between Klay Thompson, Draymond, and Steph? Do they break up? Is it the end of a dynasty where they'll stay together, but they'll be somewhat competitive, but they won't be at the top of the top because obviously the West is getting crazy. Good. Now that is our second segment. We will move to our third segment where we will have going over the top 10 wide receivers. You could put fantasy wise, you could just put regular rankings. We're going to go involved into that. And then from there, we'll move on to the voted off the island inside Bill Belichick's failed job hunt. And how close were the Cowboys to doing some things with Bill Belichick? So we'll get to that. So let's first get to the Lakers. Now, last night, we did what we had to do. The Lakers mustered what they had. I mean, we had an 18-point lead in this game, which was kind of bizarre. We had an 18-point lead, and the Pelicans stormed back, man. They came in fourth quarter. They went berserk. Zion had 40 points, 11 rebounds. He sadly got injured. And I'm a Lakers fan, but I really wanted to see how well and how cool it would be if we could have Zion for the full capacity of that game and see where it might take us. I would have loved to see Zion be in there. And then there's no excuse. Oh, well, the Lakers won because Zion was out for the last 3 minutes of the game. No, not necessarily. Because if you looked at that, we were really getting everything that we really wanted on all levels. It was just more of the fact that you really couldn't put a price on a Zion because yes, he was getting to the rack. He was doing things defensively, but this is the narrative with Zion. He gets injured all the time. He can't stay healthy, and this is why the Pelicans need to make sure they get a point guard. They need to make sure they get a point guard that can be consistent and can do the things that a point guard needs. CJ is great, but he was god awful last night. Brandon Ingram did not play at all in the fourth quarter. I don't know what was happening with Willie Green and that decision. Maybe it was somewhat of being hurt. He did came off 12 games missing in the beginning of at the end of the season and just came back. So that could be a tale for the reason why. But man, in a clutch game where you want to win that game to get to the playoffs, at least have rest so you can have that. And without Zion, you would think that's a no-brainer. So something obviously was wrong for them not to play him. But they had it. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, they went again combined like 14 of 36 or 12 of 36. They were not really good from the field. One had 22 or 23. The other one had 20 and 15. Davis had 20 and 15. LeBron had 23 and a near triple-double again. But it was really the supporting cast. Austin Reeves, D'Lo hit the biggest 3 of the game in the corner right by the Pelicans bench. That was the big game. Anthony Davis with free throws. LeBron James didn't miss a free throw all night. Anthony Davis, I believe, only missed 1 or 2 free throws the whole night. He played phenomenal. We had everyone playing great basketball. And it was a team basketball, I should say. It wasn't all right, let me go get it and let's just go. It was team basketball. So I would say that this was great to see. And yes, you're going to say, well, the Lakers, they had an 18-point lead. They let them come back. It's all about runs. It's a streak of runs. We made a run in the second quarter. We went on an 18 to 13-0 run in that second quarter to get the lead back from the Pelicans because they were rolling. Third quarter demolished. Fourth quarter, it was their time. I knew they were not going to go out like that. They just got blown out the doors at their home couple days ago. 3 days to be exact, on Sunday. You think they were going to get blown out again at home in front of their fans to get a one-way ticket to the playoffs to versus Denver? Hell no. Wasn't happening. So my thing was, I knew that they were going to play harder than they've ever had this season, and they did. And if Zion stays in, who knows what happens? But hey, that's something for the past. Zion wasn't there. We can't be like, oh, well, Zion's not there, we stop playing. No, we need to capitalize it and keep moving forward and keep pushing forward. And that's exactly what we did. We got the 110 to 106 win. And I'm just going to go look at some stats, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at it, LeBron James, like I said, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 23 points. Played okay. Didn't do the best, but he made timely shots. Rhea Hachimura, 13 points off the starting. That was great. Anthony Davis, 20 and 15. Okay. D'Lo, big. 21 points, 6 assists. Austin Reeves, 16 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Played amazing. Torian Prince, 6 points, 4 rebounds. Gabe Vincent. Dude, I think we were saving Gabe Vincent for the best time of the year, bro. He had 9 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds, played his best game as a Laker so far. He missed like 64-something games or so. He's only played 13 coming back the injury. So it takes a little bit more to get used to. So I'm happy that he actually saw some shots go in. And he made a timely basket late in that fourth quarter with an and one pass from LeBron James. And he played 18 minutes, which was great. Jackson Hayes, 2 points, but he had 1 rebound. Didn't play that much. Only played 8 minutes. Spencer Dinwiddie didn't play at all. Only had basically 5 minutes, 0 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. But you did what you had to do. Now, the Pelicans side of things, Zion, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 40 points. He did everything for this team, and you can't expect him to do everything. No one cracked over 13 points in this game. And that just shows you that Zion needs help. Brandon Ingram played only 25 minutes, 11 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Got off to a hot start. Didn't really see the floor that much at all in the fourth quarter. Jonas Valanciunas, 10 boards, 4 points, 1 assist. He did okay. Herb Jones started out hot, only 10 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, and played 35 minutes. CJ McCollum played 30 minutes. He only mustered 9 points. He got 6 assists, 3 boards, but only mustered 9 points on a shooting percentage that was below 30. Trey Murphy III, he played a pretty good game. He had 12 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. He didn't play that bad, but played 31 minutes and only 12 points. That's not going to cut it. Larry Nance Jr. came off the bench and scored had 28 minutes and scored 10 points, 12 boards, and 5 assists. He was their second best player behind Zion. If you look at it, he was their second best player. Jose Alvarado did fantastic coming off the bench for them. He had 10 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds. Him and Zion sparked that run in the fourth quarter. Tyus Jones only played 10 minutes, only had 4 rebounds, 0 points. So if you look at it, this just shows you Zion needs desperately more help. And the Pelicans got to go into the offseason to try to get them help. CJ did not play as well as he should have. He was playing phenomenal and got them on like a 9-2 winning streak off at the end of the stretch. He was playing the last like 8-9 games. He was averaging 30 points, 50% from the field, 40 from 3, and was almost averaging 10 assists a game. And he was a no-show. Brandon Ingram came off the injury. Can't expect him to do that much. But, man, you don't play him in the fourth quarter. Zion gets out 3 minutes. I would say automatic sub in. This is for the thing. Now you're playing a Sacramento team that just beat down on the Warriors. And we'll get to that in just a couple seconds. But, man, you got a tall task ahead of you even with Zion, but without Zion, they got no chance of beating Sacramento. Sacramento is going to walk through them um like easy. It is not even going to be a task for the Sacramento Kings if Zion is not playing. So Zion bet hopefully he said they had it's something with the calf or the hamstring. So hopefully he's ready by Friday because their next game is on Friday. It's coming. So they better be ready. Because if not, they're gonna get the doors blown off of them. Now we move on from the Lakers, obviously. We're gonna go to our second segment here, guys. And is it over? Is the dynasty in Golden State over? Me, I'm not a crazy Warriors fan. I've over the years have become a very big Steph Curry fan. I love Steph. He plays the game the right way. He does what he has to do on every occasion. He barely does nothing. I mean, last night only 22 points against Sacramento King. That's not going to cut it. But man, they were smuggling him. It was ridiculous. They were smothering him all over the court. He shot 3 of 7 from 3, 8 of 16 from the field, 22 points. Not bad. He still shot 50%, but 22 points. But again, no help though. Andrew Wiggins played god awful. Didn't really show up. Klay Thompson, 0 points, 0 of 10 from the field. That's not going to cut it. Draymond did not have his best game offensively or defensively. They lost 118-94. They got killed by 24 points. It's not going to cut it. I officially think the dynasty in Golden State, I know everyone said that 3 years ago, 4 years ago, in 2020, 2021. And look what they did in 2022, 2023. They won the chip. They won the chip and beat Boston and won it in Boston. It can be done again, but everyone's getting older. Even LeBron, this might be his last hurrah. Maybe one more year of really being contending. But man, it looks like the time of Steph and LeBron in the finals all the time or in the playoffs is coming to the end and it's dwindling. You see it every year getting less and less and less and less. And now it's come. The Warriors are not even in the playoffs. This is a play-in. This is not the playoffs. This start of the playoffs, but it's not the actual playoff. They didn't even make the actual playoffs. And they haven't made that. They've only made it 3 out of the 5 years they have missed the playoffs, barring the 1 year with the championship and last year when they lost to us in the second round. So just looking at that, it just shows you Steph, Draymond, Klay, LeBron, they're all getting older. And the years of LeBron versus Steph in the finals, Golden State versus Cleveland, Golden State versus Cleveland, Cleveland. It's over. Now he's in LA, and you don't see it that much. Kevin Durant as well. We'll see what Kevin Durant. We'll have another podcast maybe on Friday going over all the games coming up, series coming up, and what are my thoughts on it. Because Kevin Durant's getting older. They might be upset. You never know. A lot of the era of where I grew up with Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, just to name a few, Klay Thompson, Draymond. I mean, there's so many people, Chris Paul. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Anthony Davis. The list goes on and on. Harden, Kawhi, Paul George. The list goes on. And all these players are in their 30s, late 30s, mid 30s. They're getting older. And every year getting older, it's not looking good. So I think the dynasty for the Warriors is over. I think they will be competitive. I think they can beat any team on any given night. But them consistently going in and working for a championship, I think those days are over. They might try to run it back with Klay. Next year, he is a restricted free agent this year. I think they'll sign him to a luxury tax deal to come into next year and to stick with the big three, but they have another letdown season. I mean, they weren't that bad. They were 1 game shy of our record. We were 47-35. They were 46-36. 10th in the West. Not bad. But they actually were better this year than they were last year. But the West got even better from last year to this year. Look at it. OKC number 1. Timberwolves 3. Jokic and the Nuggets defending champs 2. Then you go down the list. You got the Clippers. You got the Clippers. You got the Pelicans. You got the Dallas Mavericks. You got the Suns. I mean, you got the Kings that are young and upcoming. You got a lot of young teams, and these older teams that don't have that much consistency really isn't going crazy with it. So I think the dynasty is over. Steph Curry is still playing at an unbelievable level, still an all NBA level, first team, still an all-star caliber player, all day, every day, superstar. But man, the supporting cast of Clay and Draymond is not going to cut it, as well as Draymond doing stupid shit during the season and getting suspended. That's another thing. Look at if he doesn't get suspended. They are significantly better with Draymond in the lineup than they are without him. You put him in the lineup, those 20 or so games he missed this year, maybe half of those are wins. And you're looking at Steph and the Warriors actually a better seed. Let's say they get 5 more wins. They're a 50-win season. That's getting you a 6, maybe a 5th seed. And if they win 10 out of those 18 or 20 he missed, you're looking at 46. They're 56-win team. They're one of the best teams in the West with that record. So just look at that. If Draymond stops with the bullshit and gets his head out of his ass, most of the time, you're looking at the Warriors as one of the things. And Draymond is a great dude on and even off the court. But sometimes he just gets in his head and gets overzealous and he messes it up for the team. Clay even said it on the podcast with Draymond. He's like, man, it's not about we downgrading you. You saying you're an ass, you're this, that. We need you, bro. That's what they say. We need you. And if you're here with us, we have a better chance of beating anybody in this league. Without you, bro, you're the glue for this team. Without you, nothing runs correctly. So that's the case of the matter. If Draymond can stay out of trouble, they might have a better season that they did already. So we'll see. I want to see them running back for one more year. But if it doesn't cut it next year, then yeah, you got to break up the band, man. I'm sorry to say it. But yes, I do think the Warriors dynasty is officially over. I think they're going to run it back next year, one more year with the core 3. And then if they don't do really anything special next year, I think they're going to break it off. And that's my thing on that. I think LeBron even said it himself with the Nets game when he dropped 40. He dropped 40 and 9 of 10 from the field, and I believe 13 of 17 from the field and 9 of 10 from 3. He even said it. The time is coming. I don't have that much time left. It's going to be a sad day when Steph and all these great players that have been in my generation from the 2000s all the way to now, it's going to be a sad day when they all retire. Especially when LeBron and Steph and Kevin Durant and all the top guys that have been saying everything, it's going to be crazy to think that they're all going to be retired. But yes, LeBron said it himself, man. He doesn't have that much time left. I book him at 2 more years. I book him at maybe 3. I say one next year with Bronny. And then I think he plays another year because Bryce is think is a juice. So I think it's 2027. Bryce would be eligible for the draft. So I think he plays until 2028, which is 4 more years, 3 to 4 more years, and I think he's done. Because he did say he wants to play with both his sons now, not just Bryce too. So I think 2028 season would be his last season. He retires. And I mean, the scoring record, the minutes record, all the records that he's going to be breaking over the next 3 to 4 years, 2 to 4 years, no one's going to catch him. No one. Because no one has showed me that he can be consistently healthy on a day-to-day basis, play every single game when he used to play, and be as dominant. There's no one out there that is young enough other than Luka, but he does the ball all the time, and bro, he gets hurt too much as well. So I don't want to hear that. But yeah, so Lakers, Warriors went over the play-in tournaments. Sacramento is going against the Pelicans, who verse the Pelicans on Friday to whoever goes against OKC. But like I said, Draymond, He had 12 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Not going to cut it. Andrew Wiggins only 12 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Trace Jackson Davis, 2 points. Not going to cut it. Steph only 22, 4 and 2. Klay Thompson 0, 1 and 4. Jonathan Kuminga 16, 2 and 7. Przemski 5, 1 and 8. Chris Paul 3, 2 and 1. He's getting old. Moses Moody 16, 3 and 1. Kevon Looney 2, 1 and 5. So yeah, if you look at it, there was only 16 from Jonathan Kuminga, 12, 16 from Moody, and 22 from Curry. Wiggins and Draymond 12. It's not going to cut in against a Sacramento team to look at this. 32 from Murray, 17 from Barnes, 16 from Sabonis, 15 for Keenan Ellis, 24 from De'Aaron, 7 from Trey Lyles, and Davon Mitchell, 5. That's not going to cut it against this team. They won 118 to 94. So that's pretty much it with the Warriors side of things. Sacramento will be going on to play. The Pelicans on Friday night. To whoever wins that game will play OKC in the first round, the 1 versus the 8. And I have Sacramento beating the Pelicans to advance to verse OKC. Now we move on to our third segment here on the Fire Sports Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the show so far. So let's start with this. Here we go. We're going to be going over the top 10 wide receivers coming into next year, fantasy-wise. That's a big thing. So I'm going to give you my side of things, and I'm going to give you what the score.com gave for the NFL. So they have every wide receiver here. But I'm not going to go over every wide receiver. Like I said, I'm only going to go over like the top 10. Maybe I'll go top 30. I'll see how I do it. But number 1, you got Tyreek Hill. This is what I'm going to go run down their list, and then I'm going to give you my list. So 1, they have Tyreek Hill. 2, CeeDee Lamb. 3, Justin Jefferson. 4, Jamar Chase. 5, Amon St. Brown. 6, Puka Nacua. 7, A.J. Brown. 8, Garrett Wilson. 9, Devontae Adams. 10, Brandon Ayuk. So that's their top 10. Now, that's their top 10. My top 10, I probably would stick with Tyreek Hill at 1. Without a doubt. Man's a beast. I would keep my boy CeeDee Lamb. Got to keep him at number 2. He was just probably the second best, if not the best wide receiver last year. After that San Francisco 49ers game in week 5. Justin Jefferson, I still got to give his flowers. Even though he was hurt last year, when he came back, bro, he was on a mission to get the Vikings to the playoffs, and he just came up short because they had no quarterback. So I would keep Justin Jefferson at 3. That's the top 3, and I don't think you're moving it. Jamar Chase at 4. He had a bit of a down year last year. This is for fantasy-wise. I would probably put Amon St. Brown at 4, Jamar Chase at 6, and I would put Puka Nacua at 5. I like Puka Nacua, man. I think he's going to be one of the best wide receivers in the league. He's already a top 5 in my book in this league. So I have Amon St. Brown. I think he can do it inconsistently. Jamar Chase really depends on Joe Burrow and really depends if the quarterback can get him the ball. And so, last year you showed he didn't really get the ball that much after Joe Burrow got hurt. It was a little inconsistent. So I'd put Amon St. Brown at 4, Puka Nacua at 5, Jamar Chase at 6. I would stick A.J. Brown at 7. He's a big wide receiver, big talent, can go up and catch that ball. I'll keep him at 7. I'm going to put Devontae Adams, still give his flowers at 8. And I'm going to drop Garrett Wilson to 9. I actually think Devontae Adams is a little bit better than what people give him. He's still one of the best top 10 wide receiver in the league still. I got him at top 8, right at the 8 spot. So I got Devontae Adams at 8. I have Brandon Ayuk at 9, actually. I think Brandon Ayuk had a much better consistent year. I like him a little bit better than Garrett Wilson. Again, that will change because Garrett Wilson has Aaron Rodgers. They had Zack Wilson, a bunch of quarterbacks throwing him the ball last year, and he still is in the top 10. Is remarkable. So I'm going to have Brandon Ayuk at 9, Garrett Wilson at 10. So that's my top 10. So Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Amon St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk, and Garrett Wilson. That's my top 10. Now, if we move down the list, we will go to we'll go over the top 30. Now the next 10, you have Deebo Samuel, they have at 11. Drake London at 12, Chris Olave at 13, 14 Mike Evans, 15 DJ Moore, 16 DK Metcalf, 17 Michael Pittman Jr., 18 Nico Collins, 19 Rashid Rice, and 20 Jalen Waddle. So, with that being said, I like Deebo at 11. I think Deebo is a good spot at 11. I would take Drake London at 12. I would keep him at 12. Chris Olave, I would put at 14. I would put Mike Evans at 13. Actually, screw that. I'm sorry. I'm going to take Mike Evans and I'm going to put him at 11. I'm going to put Deebo Samuel at 12. I'm going to put Drake London at 13. I'm going to put Chris Olave at 14. DJ Moore, I keep him at 15. DK at 16. Nico Collins, I'm going to put him over Michael Pittman Jr. I got Nico at 17. I got Pittman Jr. at 18. I'm going to take Jalen Waddle over Rashid Rice at 19, and I'm going to put Rashid Rice at 20. So that's my next 10. You got Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, Drake London, Chris Olave, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Nico Collins, Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Waddle, and Rashid Rice. That's my next 10 from the 11 to the 20 spot, or the 10 to the 20 spot. That's that. And then we go over from 21 to 30. They have Amari Cooper at 21, Stephon Diggs at 22. I'm going to take Stephon Diggs over Amari Cooper. I'm going to take Stephon Diggs at 21, Amari Cooper at 22. I'm going to keep Cooper Kupp. Well, this is what they have. They have Amari Cooper at 21, Stephon at 22, Cooper Kupp at 23, George Pickens at 24, Devontae Smith at 25, 26 Marvin Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen 27, T. Higgins 28, Malik Neighbors 29, and Tank Dell 30. Now, this is where something changes. Amari Cooper, I'm going to have Stephon Diggs at 21. I'm going to have Amari Cooper at 22, Cooper Kupp at 23. I'm going to have George Pickens at 24. I'm going to have Devontae Smith. Screw that. I'm going to have my boy Maserati, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 25. I'm going to have Keenan Allen at 26. Actually, no. What am I talking about? I'm going to take Keenan Allen at the 25 spot. I'm going to put Marvin Harrison, keep him at 26. I'm going to take Devontae Smith and put him at 27. I'm going to take T. Higgins at 28. I'm going to take Tank Dell at 29 over Malik Neighbors, and I'm going to put Malik Neighbors at 30. So you have the top two wide receivers in this year's draft class in the top 30 of fantasy top wide receivers, as well as I would put this I would put as not even just fantasy, but top wide receivers in the league. I would put these as the top 30. So that's my top 30. What's your top 30, guys? You can rank them from 10 to 10 to 10. From the 21 spot, I have Amari Cooper. I have Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Keenan Allen, Marvin Harrison Jr., Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, Tank Dell, and Malik Neighbors. That's my next 10. What's yours? So I'll catch you guys later with that. You guys let me know what your top 30 of wide receivers fantasy, as well as top wide receivers in the NFL in general. But those are mine. What's yours? I'll catch you guys with that. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Now, moving on from fantasy-wise this year, we're going to be going over to a story that I have for you guys, which is voted off the island inside the Bill Belichick's failed job hunt, and how close could have the Cowboys been to getting Bill Belichick as a part of the organization to really put it to Robert Kraft of the Patriots. Now let's get right into it. So first up, oh wow. Okay, so we got some news with the lawsuit against Dak Prescott as well, but we'll have that for another day. But let's get right to the Bill Belichick side of things. Bill Belichick has been in question for a lot of things. Now, voted off the island inside Bill Belichick's failed job hunt. Reported by Dan Van Natta Jr., Seth Wickersham, and Jeremy Fowler. On the morning of January 25th, a few hours before the Atlanta Falcons named Raheem Morris to be their next head coach, Bill Belichick believed the job was his. Now, the second winningest head coach in NFL history has interviewed twice with the Falcons, a one-on-one session with owner Arthur Blank on his super yacht, followed by a lengthy interview with Blank and the team executives at Blank's home after Belichick flew to Atlanta on one of the owner's private jets. Now, from Belichick's perspective, according to sources close to him, he had done everything right. Well, obviously he didn't because he didn't get the job. Uh, he assured Blank that he wasn't seeking the total control he had for most of his 24 seasons in New England. He pledged to work with the team's existing group of decision makers, including general manager Terry Fodnot. Belichick also knew that Blank had checked his references with a group that included Patriots owner Robert Kraft and his son Jonathan. Belichick was in a strange place, unemployed for the first time since 1996, when he was without a job for a few days after Art Motto fired him from the franchise that had been originally Cleveland Browns. Still at 71, he was confident in his chances, discussing potential staff despite all that had transpired for the past few years. I still can't believe Bill Belichick is 71 years old. That is remarkable. Including losing seasons and damaged relationship with Tom Brady and the Crafts, even in Atlanta's crowded field of 14 candidates, including former Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, former Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, 11 offensive defensive coordinators, and a defensive line coach, Belichick was confident that he would be hired to be the Atlanta Falcons head coach. No other candidate owned 8 Super Bowl rings. Now, that is remarkable that they went with. I mean, I just don't understand how the Falcons would pass up on a Bill Belichick thing. But again, I didn't think that it was the best case scenario for Bill Belichick. It's a young team. On top of that, it's not a winning ready team. And you got to rebuild with Atlanta a little bit. And I don't think he's built for that right now at 71 years old. And then, like many fans, Belichick was blindsided by the news that Atlanta had hired Morris, the Los Angeles Rams defensive coordinator who had worked for 6 years as the assistant coach and coordinator in Atlanta. That's why they hired him. He knew the system. Soon, the 7 offensive coaching vacancies outside New England were filled, all by coaches with lesser resumes. Blanker later told reporters that Morris was the right fit for us going forward, made the most sense. I understood the man, understood the history, understood the presence, understood how he had grown. Whenever he was asked about Belichick's failed candidacy prior to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Blank always spoke respectfully about the coach with nearly a half century of experience, a living legend, Blank called him. What Blank didn't say was that he and his top lieutenants had voted on the team's next head coach, ranking each candidate. Bill Belichick didn't even finish in anyone's top 3. That's very weird. The greatest coach of all time hadn't come close, and that was close as Belichick would come in 2024. Now, the NFL has moved on from their year's firing and hiring cycle. Now, just in general, let's go look at and see how crazy it would be if the Cowboys would have been able to pick up Bill Belichick. Now, guys, we had some news when it comes to Dallas. Now, let's look at how close it could have been. Dallas was another potential suitor. On paper, the Cowboys seem to make sense, but Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones are decades-long friends, and both are in win-now mode. One looks like he's about to die in Jerry Jones. The other one is 71 years old and has been coaching for the past 24 seasons. So it would have been a matching in Valhalla. It would have been perfect. But nobody is better than Belichick at converting a talented roster into a championship team. and Belichick told a friend that he liked the idea of sticking it to the crafts by working for Jones. But Jones, for all his flash, bluster, and vows this offseason to go all in, is change averse when it comes to head coaches. He decided quickly after Dallas blew out exit in the wild card round and let Mike McCarthy coach the final year of his contract. So obviously, we might be looking towards the future. Maybe pick up Bill Belichick next year if nothing goes well with Mike McCarthy this year, which it won't. But I would be very surprised if that actually does happen. Because knowing Jerry Jones and who he is, I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Because that's just who Jerry Jones is. And that's just the man he is. And he just doesn't care. And there's nothing for him to do. Now, before we end off here, you had the lawsuit for Dak Prescott was moved to another Texas county uh, courthouse. So we'll see what happens with the alleged victim of that Dak sexually assaulted her. Like I said earlier in the months, I don't think that's even that he ever did that. I don't think you would even think of a person that did that. But again, maybe those are the people you got to watch out for, the people that do all the nice things and the good things. Sometimes they do the bad things. So we'll see what happens with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, but it is not looking good so far. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb not showing up to voluntary workouts. Dak Prescott needs a contract. CeeDee Lamb needs a contract. Micah Parsons needs a contract. Bunch of these freaking guys need a contract. Jerry Jones is doing absolutely nothing, barring the fact that we're not doing anything in free agency and everyone's basically gone. And we'll see what happens in the draft. Does Jerry Jones do something stupid? Does he do something smart? Or does he do something so out of the bloom that it's just ridiculous to even think why would he do that? So we'll see. It's next Thursday's the NFL draft. Can't wait. Let's hope the Dallas Cowboys don't fuck it up again. But we'll see in the coming days what happens with the 2024 NFL draft coming next Thursday. Catch you guys later. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here on the Fire Sports Pod. That is it for my show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys on Friday to go over some more stuff around the sports world. I appreciate all the support, guys. Let's get to that 100 subscribers for YouTube. We're at, I believe, 92 or 93. We're on the move. It's been a great couple of weeks / month and a half for the YouTube show. We've been getting a lot more followers and a lot of a consistent basis. Keep checking out my shorts. Keep checking out my long videos. Appreciate all the support, guys. And I will catch you guys on Friday for another YouTube show and Apple Podcasts and Spotify audio show on the Fire Sports Pod. Again, this is Season 3, Episode 7. We will be having Season 3, Episode 8 on Friday. So I'll catch you guys then. Peace out. Have a great rest of your Wednesday morning. And I'll catch you guys Friday.